In Hobart, troubles for Alan Bond and Victoria's ski fields, the best ski slopes in Australia, but are we developing them properly?
The government hasn't given it the resources that it's needed, and it's been bogged down in bureaucratic bungles to a point where it hasn't done anything for the skiing industry in the last 4 years.
Good dump of snow. The Alpine Resorts Commission has, after 4 painful years of financially restructuring itself and the slopes, turned in its first surplus after being in the red for 3 years. But the industry isn't too impressed. Mary Black has the story.
As well as the thrill and the sport of skiing, there's another good reason to be interested in this pastime. In Victoria alone, the skiing industry turns over $450 million a year, and for years it's been in total chaos. Until 1984, this state-owned alpine land was administered by a multitude of management committees and clubs. But 4 years ago, the Alpine Resorts Commission was formed to coordinate the industry, to sort it out, and it was an unenviable task. The Commission now has a staff of more than 80, and it's taken over roadworks, sewerage, waterworks, parking and ski patrols. And the $2 million it gets from the state budget each year is only 25% of its income. The rest comes from land rents, entry fees and service charges. But $9 million and 4 years down the track, the skiing industry is a little confused. It isn't sure what the Commission has actually done.
Well, the Alpine Resorts Commission has been an absolute disaster from day one. The government hasn't given it the resources that it's needed, and it's been bogged down in bureaucratic bungles to a point where it hasn't done anything for the skiing industry in the last 4 years.
Well, I don't think anyone that you talk to seems to know what is going on. They're a big body, they've got a lot of people there, but there isn't a lot of evidence that the mountains are being run as well as they could be.
The role of the Resorts Commission was clear in the beginning. It was to administer, coordinate, encourage development, and it was to make skiing more accessible to the public.
Particularly noticeable is the entrance fee when you come into the resort to stay for a week or more. It is quite dramatically more than it used to be.
So all in all, skiing is a more expensive sport now than it was, say, 5 years ago?
Oh, absolutely.
Since 1979, the number of visitors to the Victorian Alps has increased 60%. Since the Commission was formed, only 16%. But on the mountains, the price of almost everything has risen. Lift tickets, ski hire, entrance fees and accommodation have all gone up. But the Commission says the rising costs are justified and steadying.
Well, for a start, the so-called hikes are in fact below, in many instances, the current CPI figures. It is true there have been significant increases. There's a whole range of new facilities now, and within the overall ambit of costs, we believe that we have constrained those as effectively as we could.
So, although painful so far, we're told the worst is over, perhaps. But the Commission is still in debt for over $5 million, much of it inherited from previous administrations. But it has to be paid back somehow. But the interesting thing about this Commission is that it was so concerned about its own performance that it requested a Public Service Board review into its own structure. Such blatant navel-gazing is unusual, to say the least.
Indeed, it's really been a first, I think, for the public service or a statutory authority to initiate its own review.
And the review reported back with strong criticisms. It found tension between the Commission and almost all the vested interest groups. It highlighted slow policy development, said it lacked objectives, and mentioned low morale among the Commission's staff.
We had really anticipated those and already identified them ourselves, but by bringing in outside consultants, they reinforced our feelings and consolidated what we felt was going to be a necessary move.
In August 1984, an announcement there would be $110 million spent on Mount Sterling. Tenders were called, invitations of interest were asked for, and people gave them. International companies all around the world said they would be interested in spending $110 million at Mount Sterling, and absolutely nothing has happened.
Over the last 4 years, the government has released 4 documents heralding developments at Mount Buller and Mount Sterling. So far, nothing much has been built, and some of the once interested developers are long gone. Japanese giant Kumagai Gumi expressed interest in 1985, but it went off to New South Wales and spent $75 million there instead, with more to come.
We now have got these major plans that are being prepared for all the mountains. Their management plans, their development plans, they will be completed by the end of the year, and they form the blueprint and the stimuli for development over the next 10 years.
There is some suggestion that you might have enough blueprints already in the cupboard. Don't you think Victorian authorities know enough about the snowfields to go and develop it?
Those documents are making a major input to the overall management plans, but what we're doing now, which has never occurred before, is looking at the total alpine resource and integrating, particularly in the case of Buller and Stirling, those resorts as a duopoly where we can widen significantly both the excitement and the range of activities, and that cannot be done without proper planning. Indeed, no planning had been done for that.
This latest overseas and Australian joint venture inquiry will cost $450,000 and be complete late this year. Its critics accuse the Commission of delay, useless repetition. The Commission says it has tidied its own backyard now and can concentrate on long-term development plans with a streamlined structure. But the question is, why has the Commission suffered from this lack of direction? Every year, the prices of lift tickets and gate entry fees are reassessed by the Resorts Commission. It then gives its suggestions to the government for final price approval. Well, as of last Friday, only 8 days before the opening of the season, no final decision had been made.
The submissions were certainly made quite some time ago, but they have to be put in the context of the review of services, charges, the site rental situation, because each of those elements affects the cash flow of the Commission and indeed the cash flow of the industry.
But we're a week away from the opening of the snow season and still there is no decision for operators to tell their clients how much a gate entry fee. That's a little unusual, wouldn't you think?
It's unfortunate. It would have been preferable to have occurred early, but there will be decisions made today, actually.
According to the Resorts Act, as well as the Commission, there was to be an advisory council to prepare policies, liaise between the Ministry and the industry, and leave the Commission to administer the Alps and follow directives. That council has never been formed.
The Commission has made its recommendations to the Government, and the Government is reviewing the appropriateness or otherwise of that council, and I think it's about to review it again.
Is it the Commission's view that they would like to have an advisory council?
I think the Commission would take the view that it could see that it would form a basis upon which structured comment could be made, and it would direct both the industry and ourselves to address those issues in a collective rather than a disparate way.
But what still worries the alpine industries is whether, while the Commission's been bogged down with day-to-day squabbles and administration and doing a certain amount of navel-gazing, will skiers and developers simply go elsewhere? And is Victoria taking its most lucrative attraction seriously enough?
It isn't that much further to go from Falls Creek and Hotham to the New South Wales ski fields.
Mary Black reporting. I'll be staying at Hotham. I must say, though, I would think that the poor old Alpine Resorts Commission is the meat in the sandwich between the government and the mountain operators. Mary Black reporting. Well, now to something very different. A form of entertainment spotted at Expo recently in Brisbane.
The forum of the party and the party membership, who will find that more and more of the decision-making will be done by few and few of those who are representative of the party itself.
Where would Labor's left wing be without its eternal optimism? Mr Saunderson, thanks very much. On uranium, it is, of course, Labor's right-wing faction that's keenest to dig more of it up. After all, the right will tell you we need the money, a reality underlined by the fact that some delegates here are forced to share twin rooms. Rarely has factional solidarity been so stark as two men trying to shave in the same mirror. In Bob Hawke's terms, you could call it restraint with equity, but then he, of course, has a suite of his own.
Paul Lynham. And how will the conference deal with the old uranium time bomb? Rubbery Figures has worked it all out, and that's right after Four Corners tonight at 9:45.
What are you playing with there, John?
The uranium debate.
Ah, the uranium debate? Start over that.
I already did.
Well, defuse it.
That's fixed it.
Okay, everyone, it's safe now.
And now Alan Bond. Mr Bond's been in news on numerous fronts recently. There's his massive gold float, his $400,000 defamation settlement with Joe Bielka-Peters.
How are you? That's good.
First question.
We're at your 21st right now.
We're having a grouse time. Pity you're not here.